Hey guys, Theo here, back another Rex vlog, episode 2. I'm drilling this really cool Motiv Blue Coral Venom. Yeah, gonna be a really good ball. I'm going with a 50 by 4.5 by 75. I'll explain why I chose that layout. It's a big sum, but I don't know. I wanted something a little bit smoother, and then we'll go over maybe my story of how I broke my middle finger. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. But yeah, let's drill some stuff. So I guess first we'll just chat about the bowling ball because it's beautiful, and yeah, Motiv stuff rolls really good for me. Yeah, Blue Coral Venom, you know, it's got, you know, not too big of a diff, and of course I'm throwing 14 pounds, specs slightly variate, right? It's got a little bit of cleaner cover, right? It's gonna be smooth. A lot of guys that I've talked to that throw a lot of Motiv, my one buddy told me that he throws this to the dry, and when he's bowling some tough stuff, so like short patterns, right? So I'm like, you know, how can I get this ball to be super smooth? So for me, my axis point is 5 3/8 over, no up or down. And that for me is a 50 by 4.5 by 75. This is gonna make it pretty slow. Usually if I put the mass bias up here, right? If I was to go something like this, right, it would hook a lot more, right? Or just be a little bit more responsive off the friction, but that's how I kind of want to drill the ball. So I'm excited for this one. Super excited! Right, so I thought I would just tell you guys the story as I'm kind of drilling up this ball. Of course, I'll probably have to shut the mic off and everything, well, because it's going to be loud when I start drilling. But yeah, so I used to go down to York, PA, and I used to bowl this thing called, it's like the non-champions event, PBA event, right? So if you're not a PBA champion, you can go bowl it, right? This is back 2013, 2014. I went down every year. I placed like 6th in that one. I think I placed like 7th or 8th the year after or whatever. I think that year I bowled, I think it was on Scorpion. It was like a longer Scorpion pattern. Dude, I was using an unhinged and I was wheeling it. I mean, people that know me from New York, the guys that I used to bowl with a lot, or people from PA when I was younger, I used to hook the crap out of it. That's all Theo could do. I'll be honest. You know, that was not good. But if it was there, that was my A game. So, throwing a roto grip unhinged, killing it, you know, hitting it hard. It's great. I'm like plus a lot. Like, Jesus, like plus 100, plus 2. I don't know. I was just 240, 250, whatever. I was just killing it. I was like top 3. And then I get into, I think it was a 7-gamer. And I remember, I think it was game 6. I hit on the ball really hard. And I was like, God dang, that hurts a lot. And I come back and I'm like, holy crap. So I was like, it hurts a lot. I left like a Greek church. Of course, I went up there, whiffed it. I'm like, holy crap. My buddy Tim was with me, and Russ Mills was there too. Russ Mills is the East Region PBA guy. And he's like, well, of course, I sit there, I finish out the game. I shoot like freaking 130, 140, because I was in pain. I'm like, this sucks. And then Russ comes, Theo, you're doing really well. What happened that game? I saw my fingers messed up. My buddy Tim's like, dude, your finger's purple. So right here, if you guys can see, it's really messed up. I mean, I can't even bend it, right? So the joint here that's snapped, right? So I broke my middle finger. I think at the time I had more pitch in my middle finger so I can get more tilt. And then of course I was like, oh geez, what am I gonna do, right? So I finish out the last game. Only thing I could do is put my ring finger in the ball. Still throwing the unhinged. I get left and I'm just like, poof, right over the ball return. I shoot 230. I'm like, holy crap, I just saved my ass. You know, I was like super happy. I was like, all right, cool. But I was in a lot of pain. I'm like, crap, I got match play, bro. What am I going to do? And then Danny Wiseman's there. You know, he's laughing. I think at the time he broke his wrist or something, or he was wearing a cast. And he's like, hey, kid, you should try, you know, salt and ice water. I'm like, oh, okay. So, of course, Tim came over. My buddy Tim, he used to come to regionals with me. He's like, dude, put this in there. And I'm like, oh, my God. Of course, I'm like, all right. So I get through match play. You know, I go in and I beat the first guy. I think I beat the second guy and then I lose. I think I lost to Isaac Kim. I forgot, or whoever it was. I forgot. Whoever I lost to, they ended up winning the regional. But I'll never forget, like, literally the first match, I was just like, literally like up 10 or trying to play straighter because I couldn't do anything. And it got to the point where I was like, well, I'm just bowling for baloney right now because, you know, I couldn't execute and throw good shots. But that's the story of how I broke my middle finger, and literally ever since then, yeah, it's like, if you guys can see, like, if I go like this, you know, see how it does that? This finger is ridiculous. It goes this way, it doesn't bend. So, like, when I'm bowling and I'm setting up, like, feel is super important to me. So any of you guys You know, comment below. Have you broken something bowling? Have you broken a finger? Have you broken a leg? I don't know. Like, I've torn my hip. I've had hip surgery. I've had elbow surgery. I've had PRP injections. But comment below if you've been injured from bowling. Which I know it sounds silly, but bowling does put strain on you. And if you do things wrong, like me, I used to be Captain Squeeze with lots of bevel. Bowlers, place I used to go to in Rochester, they used to drill my stuff. They used to call me a Kmart bevel because I was just like on my thumb. Don't do that. Be smart and don't hurt yourself. All right, let's drill this ball. All right, well, there you have it. I drilled my Motiv Blue Venom Coral. You know, as you guys can see in the video, right? The pin's pretty close to the center of the grip, right? So everything's kind of, this would be kind of considered, you know, pinned down as a one-hander just because of the VAL angle. But for me, I just, in case also like there's days where if like my knee's a little sore or I feel a little slower, this ball is going to allow me to just still, you know, be a little soft with it, right? And it's not going to overreact because of that. But for this ball, transition, or just using it on house patterns and using it on a lot of sport patterns. Looking forward to shooting some videos with this, and I hope you guys enjoyed the finger of my middle, story of my middle finger. Jeez. But yeah, stay tuned for the next vlog. Maybe I'll go over some finger pitches and what Theo uses because his finger's deformed. Stay tuned for next time. Thanks, guys.